Welcome, welcome to your lovely 5D Mystic Enlightenment Functional Adult Woo Woo Pseudoscience Lady episode on 5D people and 5D relationships, how we have healthy self worth, value life, and how thoughts and emotions are gifts that we mature. Okay, so the Inspiring Human Potential community is all about your infinite higher human consciousness potential for you to be able to be you and woo-woo because I respect the sciences people who don't know about mysticism and pseudoscience because again I respect academics and I do know what quantitative data means versus qualitative. Now I share always qualitative because it's subjective experiences. The data that I do pick up I will confuse at times. I'm attachment trauma informed. You all know this. I support people on personal development with my own personal research and updating courses. I'm also a holistic practitioner, Reiki practitioner. It's not a devil's energy, but there are theologians that keep on wanting to say that they own the energy, like with people who think yoga brings demons out of you or tarot, all this stuff. So if a 3D, 4D comes around, we already know love is the answer and we do the right silence because we're pachas, okay? So we're going to read these two cards for a minute. And I want you to know that we, those of us who never have had an inner child die in our heart, we have consistently chosen to be kind because we got determined lucky. I got to be a human baby with my twin in my mother's womb. And so again, determined is quite accurate. And I haven't finished the book yet, but I can say I got lucky. And I have a secure attachment thanks to my home, my mother, also being very, very welcoming and uniting. And because I am a twin, I learned how difference doesn't mean defective. So I don't have shame. You got a 0-1-year-old right here. That's why it's easy for me to always, not just sometimes, always be myself. And my 3-year-old tone comes up with my mother and twin. The two people, if you're ever going to hear me get pissy in my pants in a way that is going to be not unflappable, and I learned all about this with thank you, Daniel Siegel, when he shared with me, oh wow, Maria, you were a differentiated self at the age of 3. I was like, yeah, I didn't know that's how I could go about it. So, okay, when you maintain differentiation and you link, it's called me and we, which is why you're also overflowing with humanity. That's why divinity descends. Thank you, Sadhguru. It's not the monotheistic divinity. I know all about God. I and God have a relationship, but now, out of respect for the 3D and people who think yoga and mysticism is all that, that we already know, 4D is no better. By the way, they keep saying technology and sciences takes away our divinity. No. Thank you, Sadhguru, for existing and reminding us that if you overflow with humanity, divinity descends. And thank you to the spirituality community, the true ones who know that spirituality is a way of living with meaning and connection beyond the soul self. You can only do that if you differentiate and link. And that's where the 5D is at. And so come on over if you enjoy being a human. Those who think of sciences as evil, they don't know what it means to be an integrated brain yet because they've chosen their belief system over education. And I don't approve of ignorance. And the evil scale, Michael Stone, they all need good therapists. Evil ignorance, they all need good therapists too because they apparently don't know that they're not flat earthers and they tease the flat earthers. And I'm thinking, I'm going to tease me, but I'm going to let you know you are a flat earther because the minute I explain to you how trauma charges work and you still want to tell me yoga brings demons out of your body, I'm going to say you're not hearing me with ears of a grown-up. You're hearing me with ears of a person who has a bias, who's refusing to hear that yoga does not bring demons out of you because there's a neuroscientist who shares what happens after the nightmares and nightmares and nightmares. Patrick McNamara, thank you so much. He's still building his data. Yes, demons don't possess a person. Oh, I said 5D mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group. So I do have a mind's eye, which is I also know about. Nope, no demons. When people have heard this from me, other mystics, the 4D ones. So we're going to share what they do. They do this. You know what you're doing. Something dangerous. Excuse me? What you're saying. I'm saying that a human, I'm looking at you. You're a human, baby. You got human eyes. You have either healthy self-worth or you need a good therapist, basically. No, you don't know. I know Masons. No, I understand what you're telling me. I even know a whole bunch of other things about Masons and know conspiracy theory because I'm an educated human being. Now, it's not my master's. I just know what actual discernment means. So when you meet people who don't know what actual discernment means, they look at you weird, and then they say, I'm a mystic too. It's like, well, I'm a 5D mystic, so I have a relationship with the actual Akash field. Discernment. Let's talk about that, shall we? It's a frequency or an actuality of beingness, which you can have because, see, I forgot to mention, healthy self-worth means you're your own inner child. Did I mention that I'm my 1-year-old and 3-year-old? So nobody's on a pedestal. The only people who put anyone on a pedestal are the same adaptive children who are on Elsa's journey. That's why they have Peter Pans and Wendy's. And I noticed the Peter Pans, Wendy's, and Cusco's, and then the Lost Boys, Lost Girls, and they all forget that they call people masters, and even the ones who try to tell you don't call people masters don't do a great job at it because they think you have laundry in your body. And I'm thinking, where's your emotional maturity? Didn't you know how to deal with your secondary consciousness? And so this is what self-empowerment looks like. It's a left and right that says, ha, I got another one that doesn't know about how to deal with the, what is it, panic or fear of death. Oh wow, okay, I thought I was the only one who noticed that I didn't like to face it. I was a kid though. Marcus Aurelius taught me, Maria, why worry about something you can't do anything about? I was like, you know what? It's true. That was done. And I moved forward. Oh, I'm present and I'm expanding consciousness always because, again, I didn't lose my inner child. So what's discernment? Well, it supports your ability, or just you are a person who can view the world and people around you from a place of, inner balance and detachment. Yeah, but it's not cold, frigid body. Detachment is because I get to differentiate. Thank you, Daniel Siegel. Because see, my left and right, I'm in a physiological state of compassion when I have healthy self-worth. So while you're in a dysregulated, dysfunctional nervous system, and you might be projecting at me your insecurities and all that is your trauma stuff, and trauma, doesn't have to define you. There's all these great therapists that let people know you can work on it. Then you see attachment avoidance, say, I'm not going to work on it because we're all fucked up and I'm just going to keep being me because why would I journal and do mindfulness? And it's like, no. We're not all fucked up. It sounds like a teenager who wants to think they're cool by being different. I remember being a teenager and I remember being like, we're not, wait a minute, this sounds more like everybody wants a golden star. And wait, it sounds also like you don't just feel accepted from your family, which I'm thinking is normal because we're teenagers. Of course they're old and we're not. And why are we whining about it? Don't you love your family unconditionally? No? Wait, that's 0-1-year-old. I forgot. So what you should also know is my 0-1-year-old, see, it's a secure attachment, again, right here. So when you have completely reparented, I didn't have to. I just got lucky like this. Let me finish detachment. So inner balance and detachment is why my teenage friends said, you're cold and rational. I said, well, if being rational means I'm cold, I'm just not a drama queen. That's all. I'm just sharing with you information. But you want me to use the word smart with you now. And I know that if I say that you're not, that I'm going to be mean and then you're going to be whining and crying because I just said something mean. So what do I do? Oh, thank you. Right silence. That's right. Thank you, Shiva. So I'm just going to nod my head and stay with compassion and wisdom. So you know what happens with compassion in the lovely restorative embodiment? What happens is we stay present. Thank you, Daniel Siegel, which means curious, open, accepting, and loving. What also happens is my insula lights up, the amygdala, the temporal junction, which is what you do when you're ruminating because it relates to the past, and then people just say, no, I can't work with my chit chatter, Maria. I can't work with it. Okay, fine, you can't work with it. What do you want me to say? I won't say anything about your willingness to work with it. So some people, they don't want to do life and they don't want to do it for reasons that are theirs, not ours. But I do know there's great trauma therapists to inform me of how people love to re-traumatize themselves by engaging in risky behavior because they don't notice that the threat, the teenager, is there and they're not actually meeting their inner child. So I know my inner child. Again, it's right here, and I know how to talk to you about emotional maturity and how people that choose emotional awareness, accountability, and self-regulating, they do work. They do work with therapists, and then they come over and do personal development. Okay, so they also don't get lost in spirituality bypass, which is instead where 40 is at. You're both of the stars and human, no competition going on. Okay, that's the wisdom that comes from here. And then I know that you're a person, so if you're upset, you're upset. Okay, so let's look at the rainbow. The essence of the rainbow symbolizes the 7 steps of a true spiritual path, which manifests as the colors of the 7 chakras. And then we also have the rainbow can also represent the bridge between the physical and the spiritual worlds. When I got my light body expansion, I eventually got my rainbow body expansion. It was not some painful, dreadful thing. And then I got some more and I'm still expanding. So that's what happens when you do Akashic record readings. I'm self-taught, and you learn that we are here to do mental, emotional, and physical mastery. And you maintain your heart and your value body by choosing, I will not do an unkind act. Even though you might be a Cusco, I'm going to be a Pacha, because I won't be a teenager who lies, and I won't be a person who lets my trauma define me and allows myself to justify my low self-esteem, indirect communicating, passive-aggressive mannerisms, okay? So I won't be on an else's journey. The 5D Collective, we have healthy conflict and conversations. I never consider it conflict because, again, I'm a twin. Ask my twin if I ever stop talking. Or my younger sister, she remembers it best because she's observed me as a twin, as a teenager twin grown up. I'm just saying. Okay, so alliance, that lovely alliance, which is the human herd, divine masculines, divine feminines, when we come together, the healthy self-worth relationships. So one, we value life, and we bring forth our herd, all of our herd, and that's because we're also smart. Stable, mature, adaptive, rational, and teachable. So we know that trauma doesn't define anyone. Behaviors are not pathologies. You can understand them with the updated good trauma experts and go and get good stuff. And some people, they just want a group to go and say, oh, look, I'm different. This is my group. What's your group? It's like, no, I'm not. I'm a human group. We're all human. And you not doing emotional maturity means that you don't know what alliance is. The minute that you get upset because you have insecurities, you're going to project. I'm going to know how to catch it and share back like Pacha does in a way that won't be reactive. It will be, I am going to contemplate. So anytime two celestial bodies conjunct, meaning they dance close together, they first work together and blend meaning and purpose, then begin a new cycle of their relationship. The sun and moon conjunct at the new moon. And then it says, but because the sun is overpoweringly huge, it has special rules. But we're going to ignore that part and let ourselves remember why the divine masculine and divine feminine, these are traits, energetic traits, but they're also more than just that. And there's no saga with twin flames. No saga. Because an actual divine feminine has control over her left mode. She's not on Elsa's journey. She's got a 3-year-old right here and a 1-year-old. Okay, so just to be clear, there's no saga because there's secure attachment here. And therefore, we have unconditional love, so we don't engage in any type of behavior that is not that which matches kindness and compassion and love. And so we will have conversations in a divine masculine and divine feminine, the healthy self-worth. What is the complementary is that the masculines have the capacity to see. I'm trying to think how to describe it because it's the external, and why there are organizational ways, because they're more digital, and the feminine is, I'm a gatherer. So while they're looking like a hunter, in fact, there's a recent article that I was reading about the brain and the way it actually works, the differences between like gray matter and white matter. And I was like, okay, this is starting to make some sense as a divine feminine. And again, I don't feel it's related to biology, but I don't know, because in the meantime, the studies are looking at the actual cerebral structure. And so the way that it's connected from a neuroscientific perspective helped me to not only re-identify what I had already been able to comprehend with my divine masculine counterpart, because there's healthy self-worth divine masculines out there, divine feminines. So when that is it, by the way, it is mature mental and emotional capacity, self-awareness, self-reflection, and so there's exchanges, which is also functional adult love language. So we're not in it to prove anything. We're in it because we're enjoying each other, and then we're enjoying being a human being. So we don't have unresolved trauma leading the way, and we don't have Cusco attitude. Okay, so yeah, the 5D person wants healthy self-worth relationships, and if we meet healthy self-worth, we'll know it because they will make life their purpose, because they don't need to think of special stars or of one human being. By the way, they will know, I have meaning, my herd is there, I have life, I live, I breathe, I'm going to be a common sense is what I'm going to say. That's why they accept if there's unknowns, uncertainties, unwanteds, a divine masculine or divine feminine. In both equations, a healthy self-worth person, the ones who are not here yet, they project. But when they meet a healthy self-worth person, like Pacha with Cusco, he will make sure Cusco knows, you shook on it, I told you not to shake if you didn't mean it, And you know what, though? I'm a man of my word, and I'm going to keep on doing what I told you I would do, which is what an actual secure attachment person can do in all of their relationships, because we are the quote unquote bigger person. No, we're just the person who understands if you get stressed and you're in your biological rudeness, the fact that you are emotionally overwhelmed by your nervous system tells me that I've got a teenager in the room. Essentially, I've got an Elsa journey. Okay, so we're not going to do anything about that except for we value life, so we spend it with those who are their inner child and want to share true intimacy, because that's where it's at. If you're in a threat response, you are consistently in a default mode network that is treating me like your enemy, and your spiteful attitude is a 16-year-old with a 3-year-old who I, as a divine feminine, by the way, will know is like this. Let me out, let me out. And no, it's not a pity party, which is what those who are not balanced in their, because you have divine masculine, divine feminine. My divine masculine will have a lot more compassion for the let me out, because they will know how to explain how they got out and why they chose healthy self-worth. I will let you know how I know already I'm healthy self-worth. So when you discard me, no, you don't discard me. As a teenager, as a young adult, actually, the one story, my teenage boyfriend, so it's not even a month in, he broke up with me. And I was like, she did me the best favor ever. I'm so happy. And any regular listener knows the whole story, but I'm just saying, I was like, you know what? This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And with my twin flames and my soulmates and any of those lovely human beings, I can tell you that I have always known, because it only takes one time to say, you know what, the grown-ups lied. And it's not true that you love one person in a special way. You can love more. Polyamory, though. So we'll continue our conversation about healthy self-worth women and how we do not waste our time with people or men who don't want to do and basically stay alive. You know, I mean, it is what it is. If you don't seek emotional maturity, you don't seek to have your inner child. And again, trauma doesn't define anyone. Healthy self-worth people did work and do work. And it's not hard work. It's actually something explainable. So science is here. Spirituality, humanity comes together. We have love. But it's not energy vampires 4D or dark auras. No, it's people who choose, I don't want to go to therapy. And they're all over the place sharing with us why they're not. They told me I'm doing a good job. Yeah, that doesn't mean you're done with it, though. And now you're out there making it seem that it's cool to stay in a nervous system that is an avoidant or a ambivalent or a disorganized. It's not cool. And nobody, again, is fucked up. Stop being a teenager who needs a group or what? What are you doing? It's not, you're not actually in a, you can work with healing, it's called. So let's not make it into what I saw when I became an online marketer. All these entrepreneurs, and to this day, this is what trending topics do to a smart person. To this day, they talk about how much little sleep they get, how much little eating they get, and little coffee or buttloads of coffee. And I'm like, wait a minute, does nobody know moderation? I mean, I know that sometimes I'm excessive because my mother loves to share with me, okay, enough coffee because I love coffee. I'm not competing on how much little sleep I get. And then when you see their eyes, yes. So there's something called my body's going to speak to me. Oh, there's also what is people who are unaware of their sixth sense, introspection. And yeah, that's the part. So long story short, though, we're done for this one. I'm going to go, otherwise I'm going to keep you for a while more. If you are interested in tapping into more of the Ask Maria, there's paid subscription-based model content on the audio. Once we get to 1K, we'll have that over here too. So it's like the opinionated columnist. That's what I've decided. And we do have for tomorrow tarot oracle card reading. I was going to show you some of the cards, but maybe I'll do it in the next one. In the meantime, again, there's also FAQs out of curiosity episodes, always on the podcast. You find us on Spotify, Amazon, you name it. And if you have any questions, reach out by email. Have a great day, and thank you for tuning in, and subscribe to the channel if you'd like. Also, the like button and all that other stuff.